G'day legends, Chaos Chronicles. Alright, so another video, we're back. So I'm going to answer a question. I can't find the actual question, but it was when I've done the video of why you don't mess with the Asians. I had multiple cultural people messaging me and asking me if I could do a video on their culture and why they're dangerous and if they are and whatnot. So let's start with the Lebos. I thought that was a good starting point. And so when I say Lebos, I guess, in prison, when people say Lebos, they're basically just referring to the Muslims. So, you know, that covers a wide variety of racial orientations. So, basically everyone's a Lebo if you're a Muslim. That's what the Aussies call them anyway. So absolutely no disrespect if you are of Lebanese descent. Yeah, so all right. So why you don't mess with them is because unlike the Aussies who would rather stab each other in the back and rob and steal off them and make money off them and this and that. They actually stick together and they're a pretty tight unit. And as unfortunate as it is that us Aussies don't stick together, it's still a fact that we don't. So when I say that, it's the truth. As much as I hate it, it's a fact. So, but yeah, unlike us Aussies, the Muslims stick together and they're a fairly tight unit. So, you know, well, for starters, I'll say they're very religious. So I'm not sure if they're this religious when they're outside of prison. I've heard people say that they are, and I've heard people say that they're not. But I guess like the Aussie culture or whatever, a lot of people find religion in prison to get them through or whatever. So I imagine it would kind of be the same for them, although their cultural background is a lot different than ours. Ours is barbecues and beers, and theirs is going to the mosque, so a bit different. But so for starters, they're pretty religious. So I think they have prayers every Tuesday and Friday, if I remember correctly. And so generally, that is a meeting place where absolutely no disrespect again, but it's the same with us Aussies too. We go down the church and probably disrespect the church and do deals and whatnot down there, but it's not like it's not a known thing. It just happens, and so that can be a pretty dangerous place. And why are they dangerous? Because I'll use one of my situations for instance, and I have made a video on this. As a matter of fact, I'll add the video to this so you can watch that if you like. But so I had bought something. It was drugs. So I had bought something, and then I literally was only a couple of hours out of the slot. I just got to Scarb's house, which was full of Muslim people, and I went down the gym, seeing one of my mates. Blah blah blah. Ended up I got borrowed 4 pouches off people, and then that's how much it cost for a strip back then, and handed over 4 pouches of my fucking money. And so and then I get back to the unit and I'm chopping out the boys, this and that, and we're booping on like little junkies, I suppose. And this Muslim came up to me and he tried telling me that what we were chopping up there was his, and I was like, nah, bro, that's mine, brother. And he's like, no. I know you just went and got that off so-and-so, and I have already paid for it. I said, well, I just paid for it, mate, and you're not getting it. And he's like, I'm telling you, that's not how it's going to end for you, mate. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking telling you, mate, that's how it is ending. You're not getting none of it. Fuck off, get out of my cell. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, fast forward half an hour, I'm walking through the unit, and this guy's trying to be a hero in front of the unit, telling me later, blah blah blah. I said, fuck later, get in my cell now then, and he was like, nah. So I kind of knew I had it over that one, but I knew damn well what was going to be coming. And yeah, so anyway, long story short, I was playing cards, got invited in to have a chat with this fellow invited me in, and keep in mind, I invited him into my cell by himself earlier in the day, and he buckled. So, anywho, moving on. But yeah, so I went into the cell, and I got my head punched in. I got literally jumped on, stabbed 4 times, like seriously, one right there in the heart, and they muffed me up. They literally like fractured my cheekbone and everything, and yeah, it's pretty full on, but and that's what will happen. So like it's basically, like the CFMEU, touch one, touch all. You ain't messing with one of them Muslims if they're a good Muslim, like got a good name with the boys and whatnot, and getting away with it. It's as simple as that. And although I did take two of them out, I still got stomped. You know what I mean? Like I hate saying it, but it's a fact. You know what I mean? But like I wasn't fighting one person. I was literally fighting like 6 or 7 people at once. And at some stage, it was a bit of a sword fight too, but a one-way sword fight because I didn't have a fucking sword. So there's one example of like and I had a bit of stature. It's like I'm not ashamed to say it. And so like for me, even though I got stomped by that many people, it was shameful for me. And like so, I kind of went on a revenge drive, I will say. And but basically, what I'm saying is that's exactly why they're so dangerous. Because like, it doesn't matter. You might be able to catch one of them, and which is what I did. And I got told to stop doing it by the head Muslim at the time, and you know what I mean. And so it's one of those things that you can't win. You might catch them in a place where they're not with all their boys, and you might be able to like hand them a shank sandwich, do whatever, But at the end of the day, you've got to go back to the unit, and you got to be walking the yard. You know what I mean? You can't be caved on like a coward. You got to get out there and amongst it. So there's absolutely no getting away with it, and this is why the Lebos are so dangerous. Now, let me tell you, all of them, they're pretty fit. You know what I mean? Most of them train, most of them arm themselves up, and most of them aren't afraid to use it. And history tells a story. All you have to do is Google it, and you'll see that there has been times when these things have made the papers or made the news or whatever, jail incidents with the Lebos against whoever, like that they hold a lot of power in the prison, you know what I mean? Like a lot of screws are on the tape heading that direction and whatnot, you know what I mean? They've got a lot of power, and that's why they're scary as well, because, it's kind of like court when you're like at that level in prison. It's like straight up, it's a matter of like how you hustle and how much money you got and how much you can pay the guards to look the other way or whatnot. Every one of them's on the tape. Not every one of them, but like it's absolutely mental. So like I'm only talking about Port Phillip here too. So like it's absolutely different at Barwon. It's different at Loddon, as long as I didn't even spend hours there, but it's different at like MRC, any other maximum, MRC, the map, all of them, they're all, you know. So anyway, this is why you do not want to mess with the Lebos in particular, because they will muff you up and they do arm up and they will stab you up. They stabbed me 4 times. Only 3 of them were superficial, and one of them went in, and was pretty scary. And because at the time, I lived by the rule like you don't buzz up. I actually used to have half a ping pong ball, and it was sticky taped over my buzzer, and it said "for pussies" on there, and like sticky taped over my buzzer every day. The screws would rip it off to test the buzzer. Boom, I'd just put it straight back on there. But that's exactly why you don't want to mess with them. These guys will hurt you, and that's why you don't want to go to prison. Because as tough as you are on the outside, you're not that tough on the inside, I promise you right now. I always say this because it's the best saying in the world. But Chopper Reed nailed it in the movie. Was, you're just another bare bum in the shower. It doesn't matter who you are out there. There is somewhere where you can get got and you will get got. Doesn't matter who you are, and that's why jail is different than the outside. I say this all the time too. outside is 99% of normal people and 1% of crazy people. Jail is 1% of normal people and 99% of crazy people. It's fucking crazy, and it's like crazy stew, all different crazies all mixed in, ready to hurt someone. They're angry, they're locked up, they're taken away from their family, and they're looking for someone to take it out on. And they do. And it's usually you, the person who's new and doesn't know what they're doing. And, you know, that's why you don't want to go there. So anyway, I've been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been awesome. But before you nick off, jump up there, shoot me a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantabulistic, and I would really appreciate that. Jump up there and hit that bell. That way you'll never miss any of my videos again. And yeah, also we have memberships available too, guys. I also just dropped a members only video on why a pretty vivid explanation of why PPP is so dangerous. So yeah, jump in there. If you're wondering why we do memberships, it just helps me to help my channel grow, help us get out there and just grow and get more bigger and better content. And yeah, you're helping my cause. All right, guys, I've been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been awesome.
I am also the guy who decides if you and your friends walk out of here or not.